Welcome everyone. It's Beyond. Um, yeah, yesterday we watched the movie The Wisdom of Trauma with Gabor Mate. It was a very interesting movie. Um, but I was host. I made three pizzas, homemade pizzas, and that was very well received. And people liked it, liked to be here, and they said they liked the energy in the place. And I've heard that many times. So I'm really happy about that. I don't know if I'm the one who brings up the energy. Sometimes, that could be the case. I don't know. Could be I have guides or angels around me. I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, it was very nice to have people around me and just to see people come together and it was very cozy watching the movie as well. Mm. Also, me and two friends and two others had this gift for a friend of mine because her cell phone was totally broken, two buttons missing on the side and a cracked screen. And I used to have one of those cell phones, and it broke down, and I lost 2 years of pictures, which sucked quite hard. And so we kind of went together and bought her a new telephone, and she was like, it's like, what? That she couldn't get it initially, and then she said like, I'm not worth this, and then she started crying, and it was very beautiful. So that felt nice. It's always nice to help people with if they have a hard time to, for example, get a new phone. It's not a super expensive phone, but it was a phone, so that's good. Mm. I'm finding it a bit difficult today to know what I'm going to talk about. I want to kind of talk about my view of, I was speaking last time about spirituality. I've believed in reincarnation for a very long time. There's a very cool video you can watch. I think, if you want to, it's called The Egg by Kurzgesagt. Very weird name, but it's The Egg and then Kurzgesagt, Kurzgesagt, which is about reincarnation and how we constantly see ourselves or meet ourselves because we're all one. And we're all one is kind of a platitude. Everyone says that in the spiritual world. We're connected, and that's something which is very beautiful, I think. There's this really funny joke, or I really find it funny. I don't know. It's this old man and a young man sitting on a park bench. And then the old man says, I never really bought that crap with reincarnation. I don't believe in it. And then the young man says, I didn't either when I was your age. So that's kind of fun. Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, I started my spiritual journey with Buddhism, with the art of happiness. I think it's called in English, with the Dalai Lama. I don't know if I spoke about this, but maybe I did. How the situation in Tibet was very important for me, and how it became very heavy for me, and I eventually had to leave the whole all the concerns around Tibet and the question, how they have been treated by the Chinese. This is political, so I don't want to make it political. It's too much, but I don't know. I mean, I started. I think most people who come into spirituality, they're trying to heal something, and there's so many modalities, so many different ways to go around, like fixing things, trying to fix yourself. And I spoke about that last time as well. I think the problem around trying to fix yourself when you're already perfect. And I think it was Eckhart Tolle who said that if you want enlightenment, you need to want it as much as a drowning person wants air, and then not wanting it at all at the same time. Um, so that's, I thought I needed to go through all my suffering to come to enlightenment. Then I realized like what I was searching for was myself, and it was always around. I was already there, and I was already okay the way I was. I was already perfect. I mean, you can work on yourself and see more things about yourself, that's for sure. But I thought it would be this final moment where I would be like enlightened, And having spent some time around the three principles, I don't know if I spoke about them. I've seen that it can be gradual, that you learn more and more. But what you come to see is that you are already okay, and you were already okay always since you started your journey. So it has so much to do with self-acceptance. Like really, self-acceptance is really important. Um, to see that you're okay, psychological innocence. We're running around trying to get somewhere, and we're so conditioned to need to work hard to get something. And that's trying to change our circumstances or fix things. So we believe the journey towards enlightenment is going to be heavy and difficult. And for me, I thought I needed to dig in pain. I think that's the case. I'm not sure, but like I would, instead of, when you meditate, you're supposed to just sit there and let the thoughts come and go. Whereas I was like lasering my focus on the negativity, because I wanted to go through the negativity, and on the other side there would be this great enlightenment, and I was like carrying this heavy burden, like I'm gonna get enlightened, and I'm gonna show everyone, which is really, really, counterproductive. It's like if you want to get enlightened, you know, show off by being enlightened or more enlightened than others. That's not really good focus. I mean, if that's how you feel, then you have to probably come to terms with that. I mean, I've probably been like that a lot. That I wanted to show people how aware I was. But like, it's kind of coming back home. It's kind of like coming back to what you already were, which you already, knowing yourself, coming back to where you started, and seeing that, wow, I was always okay all these years. It's just that I didn't see it because I had so much conditioning telling me that I'm inferior, or like, I mean, like what I'm working on now probably is self-respect, and at the same time I'm working with respecting others, because both goes together. So as we're always mirroring one another, and so if I accept other people the way they are, it's easier for me to accept myself. If I accept myself, it's easier to accept other people, and respect them. Yeah, respect is very, very important. It's like, the problem now is that I've been so stressed with my thoughts that sometimes if I listen for too long, on someone else, or to someone else, I get scared and thoughts come up and there's too much. But I really, really want to, I really want to listen to people, or listen better to people. Listen to people better. But I have an ADHD diagnosis. It's about seeing that, people like me. My friends like me, but and they don't see my flaws the way I do. And it's often that we're stuck in our own idea about ourselves, that we're worthless, or we're not following through, we're not doing what we're supposed to do, and that we suck in one way or the other. And also this thing with trauma. We watched, like I said, the wisdom of trauma. It's like how it's so easy to get stuck in trauma, the past, and see that, oh, I'm traumatized. I got so traumatized when I was a kid that now I'm broken and I can't deal with anything. I can't fix myself because I'm so broken because of what happened when I was a kid. And so, I mean, what Gabor Mate does is he releases trauma. He makes people see things about their past and how they grew up, and then they can see that in themselves now, so that they can kind of let go of it, and so that can be good. But it's also easy to get stuck in the state where you feel like I'm traumatized and I can't do anything about it. And it's like, I mean, everyone comes back to sanity and to love and compassion, or to a nice, relaxed state. It's just that most people think that there's revved up, stressed state, or oh, I'm always anxious, or I'm always depressed, I'm always sad. That's the reality. But that's your thinking entertaining those thoughts that you're broken, depressed, sad, wounded, all these things. And, if you would just slow down a bit, usually you start feeling better. You start feeling more in connection with yourself. And that's the state where you want to be in. There was a guy, I'm going to try to explain this now, but there was a guy who said to me, John, what if I told you you're awesome? How would that make you feel? And I said, good. And he said, you know why? Because it's true. And so that was magical for me. I was like, wow. Well, yeah, because it makes me happy, because it's true that I'm awesome. And you can tell that to anyone. It's a kind of a little bit of a magic trick. That really changed something for me, to see that my innate well-being and relaxation is my nature, my natural state is to feel relaxed, focused more or less, in a good state, and love, compassion. It doesn't have to be like wow, but just being okay, And then I have negative thoughts about myself or others, or a situation, something that stresses me out, and then I suffer. It's like this. There's an analogy, which is the elevator analogy. I'm going over the time now a bit. It's that when you're on the bottom level of a building, you can't see very far. You can only see the first floor. But then an elevator comes and it brings you further up, higher up, higher up, higher up. And when you're at the top floor, you can see all the whole view, the whole landscape, and you can see all the floors below if you go out and look. And so it's like that elevator comes and goes, and when you're feeling like shit, you can only see the shitty part. When you're feeling very good, you can see all the levels you have been in. It's and that elevator comes and goes like you do. Sometimes you don't know when it's gonna come, So, yeah, it's good to know that when you're feeling really, really down, just remember it's going to change, and I'm gonna come back to a good state. Even chronic depression. I mean, I had a friend, or have a friend who's chronically depressed, and he laughs sometimes and he's happy sometimes. So it's not chronic, And then that no disrespect, but like just seeing that it's something which you entertain. I'm depressed. And of course that affects your mood and how you feel around things. But it's not chronic. You can change as a person, or see that you're already okay, like I'm trying to tell everyone. And I can say that, you're loved, you're beautiful, you're awesome, and it's like, but you don't know me. Yeah, but I mean, your nature is to be awesome, to be great, to be perfectly okay the way you are. And I think every single one of us has a part in this play on earth. And it can be provoking if I say to someone, I love you, you're great, you're awesome. It's like, but you don't know me. No, but everyone has that inner inner beauty, you know, especially if they would just accept themselves the way they are. Um, you know, that would be lovely. That would be so beautiful. And you can see that especially in friends, you know, if that person would just see this thing about themselves, then, you know, that would be so amazing, you know. And also, I'm going quite a lot over time now, but like, one of the worst things, I think, which makes, which is frustrating to watch with other people, is lost potential. That you see that this person could have become a lawyer, whatever, no, or this person could have changed the world in this or that way. That person has a lot of money, is spoiling it on alcohol. That person is an addict, and that person has a nice family, but isn't, you know, taking care of them. They could have done this, and that. That person is really good at this thing, and why don't they use it? They don't think they're good enough, you know. So I think, like in life, you know, when inspiration comes, try to catch it, try to ride a wave, and use your potential, so that when you get old, you're not bitter and resentful or have resentment. You can just see that you did what you wanted to do. And of course, you can't do all the things you wanted to do, but see that you led a rich life. Yeah. But we're all struggling in one way or the other. I haven't been very productive many times because I've been struggling with myself. We do as much as we can. And when things start falling into place, and I'm starting to see that I don't have to be any certain way for other people. I can just be myself, and I can just relax in myself. Then things unfold. You're gonna have things happening to you which are amazing. There's gonna be synchronicity. You meet people at the right time, or you remember, like, you have a lot of stuff to do, and at the exact right time you remember, oh, I need to do this thing, and you address it. And you know, that's divine mind. I don't know if I spoke about the three principles, but in the principles it's called divine mind. You can call it God, or love, or the divine aspect of existence, whatever you want to call it. I'm probably going to have to go into the three principles another time, but it's divine mind, consciousness, and thought. It's a system I use, which is based around an observation by a guy called Sydney Banks. It's called the three principles. Yeah, I said that. And so Buddhism is one thing which I did. Advaita Vedanta is one thing I did. Three principles is where I am right now. And I've been into spirituality for a long time. Osho, Eckhart Tolle, a lot of different people, enlightened people I would listen to. So yeah, I hope I'm not repeating myself. If I am repeating myself, it's because of my problems with my memory. But I'm going to go into the three principles further on, I think, and explain the three principles. As best as I can. This was a nice sharing for me. I hope you had a nice time listening to me. And stay classy, I usually say to my friends. So stay classy. Take care. Okay. Bejohned out.